Today I'm following on from the last video on the topic of becoming pregnant after a miscarriage or a loss, and in particular today I wanted to talk about the language that we use and whether or not it's supporting you to get what you desire, which is to become pregnant and have a family or to have a child, whatever it is that you are wanting to experience. Are you using the language that is supporting you to get what you desire? That is what we are speaking about today, so stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie and I am a qualified life coach specializing in the law of assumption. So if you would like assistance or support stepping into the starring role of your life movie, I am available for one-to-one law of assumption coaching, where we focus on changing the stories that are going to help you get the reality you want to experience while you are here in this beautiful physical vehicle. I also have a free 21-day set yourself up with the ultimate self-concept course, which is the ultimate story that you want to be telling. You'll find all of those details in the box below this video or at my website youaretheone.com.au. But for now, let's get into it. As I said before, I've recorded these videos a number of times. I also did a pretty big setup with the last video, so I would encourage you to please go and watch that first before watching this one, because I'm not going to set the video up in the same way. I will just say that this is a very personal and sensitive topic. You are the one who decides what is true for you. This is just an offering. Ask yourself, is this going to help me get what I want? And if it is, then great. If not, leave it and move on. You are the one who is the star of your movie, and you decide what is true for you. And whatever you decide is true will be true, and whatever you decide is not true will not be true. Also, please be responsible for your physical, mental, and emotional health. I would suggest just go back and watch that other video first in which I set this up. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today was the concept of miscarriage, because this is something that a lot of women go through, and I know that a lot of people who are watching this channel may have gone through this. Language is super, super important when it comes to what you're doing with your awareness. Language is not what creates reality. Language directs awareness to the state of consciousness that gets impressed on the subconscious and then expressed in reality. So language is like the signpost for awareness, and oftentimes we are using language unconsciously, and we are using words that are directing our awareness towards states of consciousness that we actually do not want, that are actually working in opposition to what we're trying to manifest. Now, this is not about perfection. This is not about then, becoming uber aware of every word that we use, but there are some words that we do use that are really not helping us to get what we want, and miscarriage is one of these words. It's just a word that gets flung around without much conscious awareness, and I wanted to explain first of all what the word is, what it means based on the original definition or meaning of the word, thanks to etymology, which you know I love, but then also the terms that would be better in this situation that are going to help you to get what you want. So let's talk about the word miscarriage. It's miscarriage. So the woman has miscarried the child. That in itself suggests that the woman has done something wrong. She's made a mistake. She's miscarried. She has caused the death of that child. Now, one of the reasons people stay so stuck in the state of consciousness and fear of miscarriage is because there's a subconscious assumption that they've done something wrong, that it's their fault that they had the miscarriage in the first place. If you take that state of consciousness and then you go into trying to become pregnant again, that fear of doing something wrong is going to be overlaid with the experience of becoming pregnant. And research will tell you that with every miscarriage, the likelihood of another miscarriage actually increases. A woman has a miscarriage, she's more likely to have another one. Now, that is not because there's anything wrong with a woman. That's because of what we're doing with our awareness. And awareness and what we're doing with it is what is impressing the subconscious, which is getting expressed and projected onto the screens of our mind as our reality that we experience with our five senses. So if a woman is carrying a child and she somehow miscarries that child and all she's been doing is living her life, there is a subconscious assumption that forms that somehow that woman is doing something wrong with her life. So then if she becomes pregnant again, the fear of doing something wrong again or making a similar mistake just by living her life is going to be ever present. And that is not a state of consciousness that is setting that woman or that family up for the success of having a successful pregnancy. So let's look at the term miscarriage. It comes from the 1580s, mistake, error, a going wrong. 1610s, misbehavior, wrong, Perverse course of conduct. In pathology, the meaning untimely delivery is from 1660s on the notion of fail to reach the intended result. So as you can see from that definition is horrible for women because it means if the baby dies during pregnancy, it's your fault. You've done something wrong. You've made a mistake, an error. You have misbehaved. You have taken a perverse course of conduct. You have failed to reach the intended result. Basically, you're wrong. What this term is doing is keeping women in a state of shame, which is probably why this topic is not as widely talked about as my friend Nicole said. She was shocked, having been through 2 miscarriages. She was shocked that this isn't talked about widely, that a lot of women actually don't talk about it openly. And of course not, because who wants to talk about this feeling of guilt or shame, this feeling like I caused the death of the child that I was carrying? This is an experience in reality, and we want to call things as they are. So I would suggest that you delete this term from your vocabulary, especially if this is something that you have gone through, and call it what it is, because we need to acknowledge reality. So if this is something that you have gone through, we need to actually acknowledge it in order to move completely into the new state of consciousness, which is to focus and be aware of the successful pregnancy. But it's really hard to do that if you're in a state of shame and guilt and fear that you've done something wrong and that you're going to do it again. That's why we need to address this term miscarriage, and we actually need to address the language, call it what it is, so that we can free ourselves from this shame or guilt that we might be feeling in relation to this experience that we have had, so that we can turn our attention towards a successful pregnancy and then maintain it on that. Otherwise, we are going to be repeating the same state of consciousness over and over again, and this is why the research does say that. But the research is only telling you what is already in reality. It is not taking into account that you are the cause and creator of your reality, and where you decide to turn your attention towards from a place of neutrality, not from a place of resistance, is what will get projected out into your reality. So the term I would suggest using is the end of life during pregnancy, or it is the death of the child during pregnancy, or it is the end of pregnancy. That's what it is. There is going to be life and death in this 3D, third dimensional world, and we want to be using language that appropriately describes the reality that we're experiencing. Otherwise, we're going to be dancing around it and then not acknowledging it properly, and then we're going to be turning our awareness towards a new reality, but also in resistance to a reality that we really haven't quite come to peace with. You work out the language that works for you and that is going to help you move through this experience. And this is just an offering. If the word miscarriage works for you and that's the story that you want to tell in order to move through it so that you can move on from it, then great, use that word. But I would suggest using a word that is much more neutral to the experience. The language that you're using is really, really, really important. And this word is not helping women to move beyond this experience and to move towards the experiences that they want to have. That's all I wanted to share with you. I hope you found that helpful in some way, or maybe you know somebody who may find this useful or helpful. So please feel free to send this along. If this is going to help you get what you want, then great, take it. If not, you can leave it and just move on, and that is cool too. Please always remember, you are the amazing creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you, assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. If you'd like any support with anything I've talked about in this video, you'll find the details below. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'd love to have you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.